I mean,
It was funny the third time.
Yeah.
the first time it might
You
have
can't
been
tell
okay.
it again.
Yeah, you can't retell a dad joke. Until about 3 months later. That's the rule.
Welcome back to the Outspoken Show, the number 5 podcast in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Andy, Zach, on the show. Andy has been pestering me for probably too long now
It's the other way around, actually.
He's desperate for the airtime with
the
her.
podcast.
He's hanging for airtime. What about that fucking fight? Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, the third fight. In the third round, Deontay Wilder gets knocked down. And at that point,
You think, here we go.
It looked
Next
like
round, he's done.
we were even thinking that round. We were thinking in the third round it was going to be called.
Like, he came out swinging the first round. He looked like he was leading it. Then from there on...
In the first round, I felt like Tyson Fury was just observing.
Yeah, it's like he was working it out, but he came
But
out
Wilder
with
was
some
strong.
initiative. It looked like, this could be a
He was pressing
even
forward
fight, which it kind of turned out to be.
in a weird, twisted way. In a
I
twisted way, it was an even fight because then
Yeah.
in that fourth round, Wilder somehow got through that third, and in that fourth round, Wilder knocks Fury down twice.
Yeah, not
And at
just
that
once,
point, we
twice.
lose our shit
First time ever, Fury's been knocked down twice in one round.
in one round.
And it was like right before he knocks him down, the money odds came up, and
Yeah.
in the American betting terms, it was like plus 1,400 or some shit for Wilder. But that's like 14
Very-
to 1.
Yeah.
Like,
That-
you're like, oh, you would have jumped on
That
that.
would
That
have
would
been the best time to call up and get
And in
get
the
on
space of
Fury to
10
win.
seconds, everyone thinks Wilder's going to win
Yeah.
from being a 14-1 favourite. And then they would just blow for blow.
But
Blow
he
for
went
blow.
from being on the back foot to the front foot to now Fury was on the back foot. And he was getting chased down, but then they're both landing heavy hits.
Yeah, there was a lot of exchange. And I think by the 6th round, Fury just started to utilise that jab.
He
and
was
when
just a better boxer overall. He
Yeah,
started to
better
take
technique.
control, and it kind of looked like it was only going to go one way, unless Wilder could land that punch. And he's always got the potential because he's ridiculous. Just throwing haymakers.
That's
and
the thing.
Landing 1 in 50, but if that one hits, fucking it.
with a bit of hunger and like a powerful punch,
Yeah.
it's a bit
Well, the
like almost anything can happen.
The commentator said that you can't just lift weights to be good at boxing. Because Wilder is 10 times better built than
and that was one of
Fury.
the things that Wilder talked about in his preparation for the fight. He was saying he was repping 180 kilos.
Yeah.
So he goes, Fury coming in at 125, it'll be easy because Fury kept leaning onto Wilder, putting the weight on, like that tires you the
Takes
fuck
your
out.
energy, yeah.
And so I think that's what they were getting at there, saying that even though he's doing weights, like when someone's leaning on you and you're punching yourself out, it's tough.
You got to be fit for what you're doing. Your
You got
sport.
to be boxing fit.
Yeah.
But then 7, 8, 9, in one of those rounds, Wilder gets knocked back down.
It was like he took a knee, wasn't it?
No, he took a knee, but that was Fury pushing him down
Oh, okay.
because Wilder got knocked down 3 times.
Yeah, 3 rounds.
So he got one more knockdown before the ref stopped the fight in the 11th.
Yeah, and from there you're
I think
like,
it was
Tyson
11.
Fury's going to win. I didn't think there was much doubt. It's just like a random flurry is the only way Wilder would win. It's a random flurry, Tyson Fury gets a bit.
Yeah,
Well,
but
it's just-
it only takes one punch.
For him,
It takes
yeah.
One punch and you're knocked out.
That was the surprising thing because it looked like Wilder was about to lose. And then 10 seconds into the round, you start to believe in Fury. You start to believe him in again.
That's what makes a good fight. You know, you never know, you don't know which way it's going to go.
Don't give up.
And that's
Because there's a
entertaining.
clear difference in like, and I don't know shit all about boxing, but it seemed like there's a clear difference in boxing skill.
Yeah.
But Deontay Wilder can absorb a fucking punch, and he can throw a punch.
He was
And
confident.
like at heavyweight, that's all you need to be able to do.
Like
to
you
be-
just think, how can
like,
any
if you're
man take
really
this
good-
many hits
Oh,
that hard?
it was insane. It was like ridiculous. I don't think I've watched a proper boxing match. I think it was since one of the old Fury and Wilder ones. Like I'm just
Yeah.
not that into it.
That-
That was the most exciting thing I've watched him.
Their 3
Nice.
fights have been very good because there was another fight, I can't remember whether it was the first or second, but they'd both knocked each other down. So these guys have a habit of just going to fucking war.
And
Yeah.
that's the draw with heavyweights, isn't it? Like it's not always the cleanest boxing, but it's the most
Big
exciting
hits.
because one hit just changes
Yeah.
the whole fight.
At one point, they nearly knocked each other out at the same time.
Yeah. that was,
Imagine if that happens.
Just both flop.
Classic
That-
double knockout.
imagine if, like, has that ever happened where, because it sort of looked like it could happen if it was to happen.
Pretty sure
I think
I've
it's either
seen it
like-
happen
yeah,
before.
Video, probably some random like
Facebook or
kickboxing
something,
fight.
yeah.
I've definitely seen video.
Where
of
both
that.
connect, they both go
Just
down.
go, whoop.
Definitely seen it on the YouTube video.
Yeah.
It happened in Rocky. and Rocky was able to get up.
Rocky is documentary as well, so that's actually
Yes, Rocky is
factual.
obviously real.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Where-
Creed is real.
Of course.
Michael
Yeah,
B.
Michael-
Jordan is the best boxer in the world, I think.
All
I
time.
think of all
Yeah, yeah.
GOAT status. How do we feel about boxing and UFC? Because that was one of the best boxing fights in a very long time, and that brings it close to UFC. Because people always say about boxing, they're not real fights. That was.
Yeah.
100%.
Where does it match up?
I feel like UFC is more digestible for someone who doesn't know what they're looking at.
Yeah, it's just like looking at a street fight.
Yes and no, because
It's just
some of
quicker.
those arm bars, like when they're on the ground, that's hard to digest.
It's hard to work out what's going on, but when you see someone cranking on someone's arm, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
True.
That would hurt, yeah.
And skull pounding and
Yeah.
On
I was
the
saying,
canvas.
when you get knocked down, you don't stop. You keep going. You just
yeah,
bash
that's
on the ground.
so
It's
good,
animal.
but it's ridiculous.
Rough,
Yeah.
It's like a bloodbath.
In the promoting, I think it's just better, and
Yeah.
UFC for like
Yeah,
everyone.
hyped up.
Like
Octagon,
why?
cage.
Why is that?
I think UFC actively puts
Better
into
fight.
their promotion for like all their fights. All their fights coming up, they're the ones putting the money behind the promoting. It's not just that one promoter. Like they put a conscious effort into getting their name out there. That's how they've grown.
But you've
So-
got Bob Arum out there tonight doing the promotion.
Who's Bob Arum though? Like you
What?
don't hear about it. Dana White is like household name. Like the guys in the limelight, they're in the media. They're a bit more persistent with promoting things.
I see your point, but that Dana White doesn't sell the fight. Like you know what I mean? He might tell the story or put something in place for the story to be told, but the fighters are the characters in the story.
Yeah.
Not Bob Arum, not Dana White.
But in boxing, the fighter really, I think it matters more if you're going to get people to watch. Oh, then
As
again,
opposed to
fucking
UFC, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You-
Yeah, I thought about it. Yeah, I don't know. For a casual fan, I feel like it's easier to digest UFC because it's just a bit more going into it.
It's just
in
more
terms of-
rougher, more
Yeah.
entertainment, just so high paced. Whereas boxing is more technical, more like it's all technique, and you know the people you're watching, like how they're gonna fight.
And
You
it-
watch them in the past, and
And if it's not heavyweights, isn't it like the knockouts don't happen as much as you would expect them to happen? Like knockouts are just big.
It's more
and
dodging
the
punches.
heavier weights,
Is
and
that
as you get
true?
lower and lower in weight, yeah, apparently it's just unless someone's clearly like dominating someone.
It's-
the close fights are
yeah.
more
Because
good
think
decision.
about it like this: everyone's head is pretty much the same in terms of
Weight.
like the build. Like you can't have a strong head. Some people have a stronger chin, but as you get bigger, the punches become heavier, but the head doesn't scale in that same way. I don't know if that makes
like your
sense.
ability to consume a punch doesn't
Yes,
change as
yes.
much as
So
yours.
they have to train to be able to take those
but I
hits.
feel like these people today would be able to take a heavier hit than someone in the lightweight category.
Like the heavier guys would be able to take
Yeah.
100%.
No, I don't think so. I think they can throw a heavier punch.
I
think that's
I
what
think
it
they
is.
can-
be able to take it.
But then they train themselves to be able to take the heavy.
Because a lightweight boxer or a middleweight boxer will never very rarely be hit with the weight of a punch like a heavyweight boxer. That's the
So,
difference.
but yeah, the heavier weights I think can take a heavier punch, but I think it's disproportional to the
Yeah.
level of punch being thrown. So as it gets higher, they can take a little bit more, but they can throw a lot more. I don't think it's balanced. That's why you see more knockouts in the heavier weights.
How cooked do you reckon these guys are? It's literally like 6 car crashes just in one fight.
Tyson Fury is talking like he just read a book. Like his
He's
ability,
Yeah.
He'll probably write a book.
Bloody singing afterwards.
it was a concert.
his ability to be completely with it. Like I mean,
Yeah.
I've never been through that, but I
He's
can't
also a
imagine easy.
performer.
Yeah, he's one of the best talkers in like I've ever seen in fighting.
I think it makes it easier when you win.
Yeah.
Like even though you've been
Oh,
knocked
yeah.
down twice, it is a little bit easier.
You're just pure adrenaline. He's just,
We didn't even get a word from Wilder. He was off at the fairies.
he wouldn't have said anything. They don't knock.
They fucking hate each other.
And they hate each other. Like, is that
Hate.
What-
why he
it-
didn't
it-
stay around afterwards?
Also probably
It's
because he's
fucking
getting
knocked out.
a bit of medical.
But normally do fighters stay around afterwards?
It depends.
I think if there's good graces between them, they'll congratulate each other. But
Yeah.
they never interview a loser after they've knocked out, or they rarely do. I
Right.
think.
Because they're comparing other sports, so like usually the losing team will stick around and they'll wait around for like medals to get
I guess
or-
the difference is probably in boxing as well, or UFC. Like sometimes they need to go to fucking hospital. Like
the other
that's.
thing.
there's-
UFC, they stick around for sure. And they wait and they do the hand raise thing.
Yeah.
They're both standing there, but
I think that was Wilder not wanting to be there.
yeah.
I think
Well,
that's
they
what
they
that
were meant
was.
to do the hand raise, weren't they? And Wilder didn't want to do it.
But
Yeah.
What's next for him? Like Wilder, like
He'll get a
now-
fight. He'll get a fight
But-
because he stuck around like he did.
But who is he going to fight? Joshua? Like they're gonna
Yeah,
be
that'd be the
battle,
perfect.
battle of the
Does
losers.
Fury retire?
No, he's got to defend.
Fury's getting those balls.
This is where he makes easy money, because there's not that many people that will want to fight him, but he'll still get paid at close to what he just did.
And he's young. He's 33. He's got so many years left in boxing.
Such a big guy.
Only taking big hits from Wilder.
2 meters and 5 centimeters. I think I looked it up.
6'9".
6'9".
That's
Unreal.
Stupid.
That's just stupid.
Your neck would hurt talking to him.
Just watching them next to the judge is like,
wow. Ridiculous.
So, talking about you coming on, Andy, because you wanted to come on, and the second you get here, you pull up porn. You pull up porn onto the TV.
I just went through Luke's search history and that's what came up.
That's not the case.
I saw Andy do it. He clicked history and it wasn't
Straight
good.
into his history.
But
Talk to me.
but one thing you wanted to talk about on the show is, well, you always tell me we're not controversial enough because we're apparently called the Outspoken Show. Is that what we're called? Is that what we're called?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember. What are we called?
The Outspoken Show.
It's something like that. Yeah.
The not so outspoken.
It's probably something like that.
We lost
Yeah.
Around those lines.
It'd be something similar, I'm sure. I
We
trust
lost
you.
the branding up the top there, so we
Oh,
forgot.
no.
We forgot.
That was an
That's-
expensive sign.
That's
Yeah.
what it
Where's
was.
it gone?
It's hanging up in my house, mate.
He took it.
Like, claimed
But
it.
so you wanted to talk about something controversial. So I don't know whether you've got something on your mind, but I just found out or researched 25 controversial topics.
Talk to me.
Well, do you talk to me?
Okay.
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I think you just give me the topic and we'll talk about
Okay. All right. Abortion.
it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, abortions. I think if the female wants to abort, they can abort. However, does the male get the decision? Can they?
Do they get a say?
Yeah,
They'd
they
nev-
get a say?
I mean,
Should it, should it
What do
be-
you think? Okay, you've just explained to us what abortion is.
I think first and foremost, both parties are at fault if they are willing to have unprotected sex and
Condoms.
and condoms. Yeah,
it's like a
exactly.
personal attack on
But
Sue
if,
them.
if you're willing to have unprotected sex, then deal with the consequences that come with that. You know what I mean?
Yes, and that is them having.
However, my only thing with abortion is that, say for example, a girl gets raped. I think that's acceptable for that girl to be able to go and have an abortion because after all that.
I
you know,
think
It's crazy that it's not. Like Australia, I don't know
Yeah,
if it's different now, but the laws were like,
Yeah, they weren't allowed to.
yeah, it's
Can you
illegal.
do it in Queensland?
I don't know.
I think you still have to go down to New South Wales to do it.
Yeah.
It's-
That's just
No,
Not
like
the
in
case,
Queensland,
really?
it's illegal.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I feel like if a girl or whatever happens gets put into a situation where they have to make this decision, they should be able to make it.
100%. Yeah, that's a weird.
who gets a say? Who gets a say? Girl or guy?
I think both parties obviously.
Is it
get a say.
50-50 split in decision
But
making?
sometimes you feel like the girl gets a bigger say. She's
I
the
think
one
the
who has
girl
it.
gets a little bit bigger say because they're holding it. They're the one that has to endure it. Obviously, the male's job is to just put the semen in.
Plant the seed.
Just first.
Just put it in.
Just-
Look after the girl and then
Place
look
it
after the
right
baby.
in there. Dylan knows how to do
But the
that.
thing is, what happens if the guy doesn't want to stick around and then the girl wants to keep the baby?
It's
That's fine.
That's her decision.
That's
I think ultimately the
But
guy
then-
can put in their opinion, but ultimately whatever the girl wants to do is what it's
I
going to be.
reckon it's case by case. There's no one answer.
I will say about 4 out of 10 controversial answer from you.
Yeah, I mean that wasn't really.
He's just giving
It's
his
not
own-
much controversial.
Yeah,
That's
he's
my
just
opinion.
No,
on it.
he's just said he's controversial.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna
Yeah,
say.
that's-
I'm not gonna say some. I'm gonna
He's not
say
gonna-
my opinion on it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say something that's against my opinion.
He's not
Okay.
going to be crazy for the sake of being crazy. He's authentic.
Yeah.
This is authentic Anthony.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Vaccines.
All for it.
Mandatory?
I don't think it needs to be made mandatory. Like for example, flu shots.
COVID vaccines.
Okay, no, wait,
Mandatory.
Let's go
Yeah.
before COVID. Let's go flu shots. Was flu shots mandatory? Yes or
No, no.
Why?
I don't know. I don't think people were paying as
They're
much
just
attention
as
to it
contagious,
before then.
If not more contagious than COVID.
This is a fact you're referring from, I'm guessing.
Hang on. More deaths
I love it.
caused by the flu or cold than COVID.
Called the medical term.
Prove me wrong.
I don't know.
Well, I said overseas they just call COVID the flu. It's nothing anymore.
I mean, I don't think making it
Fortunately for you guys, you're listening to a panel of 4 medical advisors.
I
I got a PhD.
PhD of shit talk, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Actually,
So wait,
it's a hard degree.
how do you feel about the flu vaccine?
I don't think it needs to be made mandatory.
I think
that you have it at your own risk, and if you don't want it, you don't need to get it.
So flu vaccine not mandatory.
No.
COVID vaccine.
Doesn't
Yeah.
need to be mandatory either. What's the difference?
It's a bigger
I don't know.
spreader.
I'm not the doctor. I am the doctor.
You can still spread it even if you have.
It's
if you
true.
have the
You
vaccine.
can get it and spread it with the vaccine.
It's the same thing as the flu.
So why are we worrying about the vaccines then?
I think because it's such a new disease, the governments are extremely scared as to what it can cause, what can happen. But if anything, we're actually causing more harm to our economy and society
And mental state.
than the actual disease is actually doing. You know, us going down lockdowns every 2 seconds, which is causing massive issues to our economy. You know, half the businesses before COVID started aren't here anymore.
Is that a fact?
Nah.
I
don't know, it'd be hard.
Yeah, I know. I agree with what you're saying. I'm just gonna return serve with, is that a fact? Everything you say.
I reckon
You see so many local businesses that have shut
Yeah.
down.
I reckon 20.
And that's
I reckon
the sad
20 to
part.
30%.
Why don't you just look it up? You have a computer at your disposal.
No, this isn't a computer.
Oh,
Thanks.
controversial. It's a MacBook.
It was just about your phone buzzing.
It's a
But,
MacBook.
yeah, you can have it on
Get
there.
rid of it.
Yeah, but long story short, you know, I feel like it's been blown way out of proportion. That's my opinion. I feel like it doesn't need to be made mandatory. I consider it just as bad as the flu. You know, and you take what you want from that. But I don't think it should be mandatory, and I don't think you should have to have passports saying you have COVID. That you've had your COVID, vaccine. Look, I did get my vaccine, but that doesn't mean I'm making other people, or forcing other people to get it. You know what I mean? I don't care what other people do. I don't care what I do. Yeah? If getting a vaccine means I can go traveling, sure, forget it. I'm not worried.
Do it out of convenience.
Exactly.
As opposed to not being a hassle.
I don't see the need to have riots and all that. You know.
I think the riot comes down from like just being suppressed for so long. I think
Yeah, 100%.
that's the
Well,
root of
Melbourne's
the
the
riots.
biggest
The
lockdown
government
in the
Melbourne
world.
have handled it so bad. They could not have handled it worse.
It's not an easy thing to handle.
No, but I feel like
You can do better.
there's other states in Australia that have handled it so much better. Why could they just follow other states?
Yeah.
Queensland,
Too many egos as well, as part of it.
Queensland, we get on top of it.
Queensland, we just follow the rules.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's all it is.
We're not notorious rule followers though.
And we're more
you go to the
spread
Gold
out.
Coast or Sunny Coast.
Too many-
like,
No one wears
Who's
masks
following the
there.
Too
rules?
many egos in Melbourne.
You can't get out the Gold Coast. The wind blows it away.
Yeah, I think the wind blows it away and the sun's too strong. That's why I read that in an article one time. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, they just want everyone to get vaccinated, so then you don't have to do all these lockdowns and stuff anymore.
Hopefully that's what happens when we hit that.
Exactly. And then
80%.
everything goes back to normal. Hopefully.
Will it?
That's the thing.
It's just,
Believe it when it happens.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I do believe the government has everyone's best interest at heart. Sometimes,
You do.
most of the time, I don't think they're trying to slight us.
I think they're more worried about being re-elected.
Yeah.
It's re-election than the interest of the people.
100%. They don't want.
To it, I think,
I think that's overwhelmingly.
Okay, so-
but I think a lot of that also benefits us. Like,
Maybe, but I think it's re-election, and if that getting re-elected is benefiting us, then they will do that. But I think it's re-election first, then it's care for the people.
Palaszczuk already just got re-elected, so she's got heaps of
Exactly,
years.
because so
well,
that was her main goal.
They
of
can
it.
get voted out there.
Yeah, they could just get taken off by
Just
them.
like that.
Yeah, it's.
But she
Yeah,
loves the
what-
NRL, so she's fine.
I'm
She can stay.
skeptical. I'm skeptical about anyone who wants to become a politician. Anyone who wants to be a politician, I don't think they have the best interest of people
No.
at heart. I think it's
so
an
why would
ego
they?
thing.
Why would they do it then?
Power,
To
control
fulfill
of people.
themselves?
I feel like it's some kind of like you can tell people what to do.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that is a common personality trait of people
You
who
wanna-
become
If
politicians.
you want to be in that position, then you obviously want a bit of power in your life, and that's what it is.
You don't reckon there's anyone that has
No
good
one that-
intentions?
No one that gets elected.
Not higher up. I feel like a
I
lot
know,
of.
I agree.
I
Yeah.
Good intentions is such a well. You maybe.
I feel like a lot of lower people, like that deal with like the suburbs and stuff like that, they have a lot of good intentions. But I feel like once you start getting higher up in the hierarchy, not so much.
And the speech of what they're going to do for everyone is
Yeah, I hate
bullshit majority of the time.
It's just tag the party line. Whatever
Yeah, it's
the
what you wanna
group
hear.
parties decided was best interest for us, they'll do. Sometimes it benefits people. Sometimes it benefits some people. Sometimes it's all a shambles. But yeah. Moving on.
Okay. Yeah. Next one. That was good takes. Marijuana legalization.
Yeah, I'm for it.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
All drugs legal.
420 baby. Did I?
All drugs legal. Put the emphasis back on people.
Nah, I reckon marijuana Should be
plant,
legalized. And
medicinal.
if anything, can it have healing properties? Is there
Marijuana's a
research?
weird one, yeah. For like pain relief and stuff,
Yeah,
there's actually
antidepressant
research
and stuff
into
like
CBD at least, the non.
I reckon they need to research more into that and see what other cures that may have.
It's there. No, the research is there. They started to do this in America and stuff, where it's kind of accepted in a lot of America. And
why is it still illegal?
We're very conservative as a country in Australia, and we'll do what America does eventually.
Is it because,
but it's slow.
Is it because the government can't make money on it? Question mark?
It's because I don't think
they won't tax it.
I don't think the overall support of the people is there yet, and they will wait till the overall support of the people is there in order to ensure re-election.
I think
That's
it's
all I
it's
think
going to
it
be a
is.
medical thing, won't
Yeah,
it? Like
20
you have
years
to have,
of people
you have
left.
to have a thing to get it.
Probably not.
Not in,
Start out like
not in,
that.
Not in America, I don't think you need to.
No,
No,
like, is that what they wanna
America's
do,
legal for recreation, so anyone
You can get a
can
small
have
amount.
it.
What?
No, anyone can smoke it. You can
Yeah,
smoke
but-
it in
Oh, you
public.
can only get like a gram or
Some
something.
states.
But whereas in Australia, in I believe Canberra, you can
Have they started
grow.
it?
I believe you can grow 2 plants
Oh.
in your
Oh, really?
in your home.
Let's go.
But it's
Yeah, let's go.
Road trip to Canberra.
but it's illegal. So to sell it is breaking the law.
So you can
You're-
sell it yourself.
You can have it yourself.
Oh, so you can use it yourself. Okay.
But
But how the hell could they control selling?
I believe there might be some aspects of marijuana that can be used or approved for medical. I'm not sure on that though. I know, like, there's people down the Gold Coast. Alex, remember when we spoke to Alex, the boxer? He takes CBD before bed.
Which is the
So
non-hallucinogenic.
Exactly.
It's not.
Yeah.
natural.
THC.
It doesn't have the drug. Or the hallucinogenic THC.
Is that the oil?
Yeah, that's the one that gets you high.
Yeah, that's the
What's the
property
CBD?
CBD is non-hallucinogenic. So
Yeah, that's the good
derived
stuff.
from the same plant.
So, okay, but if it was to be made legal today, marijuana is legal in Australia, does that mean everyone in jail who got put in jail for a marijuana crime,
You know what? I was thinking about this. The other
do
day.
they get automatically released? Do 2,000 people get
I
released at
feel
one
like-
time?
I feel like yes and no. No, because hang on, listen. No, because at the time it was illegal, and they still knowingly knew that it was illegal.
That's
They
true.
still did it. However, I mean,
But
it's legal. So
the weird thing, I agree, because they would have knowingly done it while it's illegal, but it's almost like, it seems like the government's coming to their senses. That's what it seems like, why it would become legal now. So, and if that's the case, then why were they put in jail in the first place?
I was-
And not to mention, if they
but the
get
government-
released,
No, it's
the
for dealing
government,
a
the
lot.
government have been saying this for about 10 years now, that they were going to legalize or talk about legalizing
There's been talk.
marijuana.
there's been a lot of talk.
It's been so long, but why haven't they done anything on it?
Doesn't have the.
You might have to get a camera and do a day trip research.
I don't think it doesn't have the support of everyone yet. I think.
And
the
like,
old
if you
heads
got
are still out
caught
there.
with it on you, how do you, like, as if you wouldn't just say, "Oh, I growed this." Like, how would they be able to take
In
it?
Canberra,
No, yeah, if they make it like that.
I'm sure
You're
there's
allowed
plenty
two
of
plants.
loopholes.
Yeah,
So
but
what?
they probably wouldn't be allowed to take it outside their home.
Oh, maybe.
could be, I don't know. I'm not sure on the
But what if they
specifics.
come to their home?
Well, then it's probably okay.
House party.
Alright, talk to me, Luke.
Well, no, because, okay, so then you've got the part, if they stay in jail, I feel like that's pretty unfair. Because it seems like the government's woken up and then they've said, no, even though we've woken up and we were late to the party on this, you're going to stay in jail. But if they get released, does the government then need to pay them out as if they were wrongly convicted for a crime?
No.
That's wrong.
And if it depends on the sentence length,
Yeah.
I think. If it's a life sentence or they're serving 25 years, they've served 5, it becomes legal. You reduce the sentence. You bring it back
And I feel like it's like what you did, like
because you knowingly committed the crime,
And
regardless of whether it's legal
agree.
now. You
And-
knowingly committed the crime.
what if it was, you were trafficking 200 kilos of marijuana and 50 kilos of cocaine?
I feel like
What
that'd be
happens to the sentence length?
Same thing. It stays the same.
I feel like if it's
Would
that
it?
amount,
Or
it
does
should
the
be illegal.
marijuana time get taken off?
No, because they knowingly knew that it was illegal.
Yeah,
Like,
you
what the hell
knowingly.
I said.
Yeah, you
And
knowingly.
they would go off
committed
what
crime.
the new rules would be. Like, if you got caught for doing 200 kilos of marijuana, you'd still be in
But the
jail
thing
for
is,
that
though,
same
how
thing.
many of it's a lot of these people aren't just going to jail.
I'm just posing
for-
questions, but
for
yeah.
for that one, just marijuana. They might have other things.
It could be.
priors, or that have
Yeah,
huge
other
amounts
things
of
that are,
time,
yeah,
and-
contributed.
Exactly.
What about capital punishment? Because this is an interesting one, because in some instances there are
So,
some,
yeah.
I'm empathetic, but there are some scumbags out there who deserve just to be put in a hole.
So eye for an eye, for example.
I feel like they should bring back the chair.
I don't think eye for an eye.
What do you think?
I think once
Jesus.
it's hard, but I think patterns If it starts to become a pattern, go into the hole.
Pattern for what though? You're saying a pattern.
What do you mean by the whole?
They commit theft 4 times in a row. That's a pattern.
Okay.
Get rid of them.
Not theft, but to.
Why? Okay. My theory for this is this. Right?
You don't know.
It's hard. I don't know how I feel about it.
Not on the topic of capital punishment, but similar. So, in terms of people going to jail, my theory is that why don't we make them do manual labour? Stuff that needs to get done that doesn't get done. For example, previously during COVID, the farmers had no one to pick their plots.
Yeah, up north. Yeah.
Why didn't they send all those prison people out? The jail.
They'll steal the berries.
What happened was all the prison people got sent back to where they were from because of COVID. They had to go sent back home.
But the theory is that
I'm fucking up. That's not true.
The theory is that why didn't they go out there do what they need to do?
Community service.
They might even get paid a little bit of money, like nothing, right? But they still get paid something
Yes.
to do it.
Do something for the community.
They're also doing something for the community to make up for what they've done in the past.
And the harder thing you do, you should work off your sentence.
What's the harm in that?
But
I think there's a win-win there.
But isn't the negative then like these farmers say even though what they're doing is essential, it's like they're then getting free labour. So what would incentivize?
I think they might deserve it though.
But
why?
Hang
why
on.
them over anyone else?
I know what you're saying, but there are also instances where governments give incentives to some industries. For example, the childcare industry. The government incentivizes that part of the industry. So families don't have to pay as much. Like that's good for you. So there are instances where the government help out, and this is sounding like one of those instances.
I agree. And look, farmers do it extremely hard. I know how hard it is to garden, but I know how hard it would be for them to farm as well, right? Water is scarce in a lot of places up north, especially. So I feel like they need all the help they can get. And if sending extra helpers up there to go pick their lands, which they can't do because of not being able to get international people to come in and do it for them, then I think I'm all for it.
Do you reckon, like caged eggs, if you saw your berries were picked by prisoners or whatever, you wouldn't buy it? Like, would the people think like that?
I mean,
people put needles in strawberries.
I think they already do stuff though. Like don't they do stuff from the prison?
I think they have a choice to do things for.
Like I don't know.
Can you work off your sentence? Is that a thing?
I don't know if you can work off sentence, but I'm pretty sure you can do you get educated, do certain things in prison while you're there.
Yeah.
I don't think you get paid for it.
Perhaps.
I think it's like little amounts that will buy you things within the prison, whether it's like a packet of noodles or something like that.
Having an incentive to go do those jobs, they get small amounts off their time.
Yeah,
that's an incentive for them to go do those sorts of things. I feel like some of these people, maybe people that are not doing a crazy amount of time, they would like to cut as much as they can off their time. This is a good way to do it. Know what I mean?
So do we want to revisit capital punishment?
I mean, no.
I think we're moving on.
Let's not touch on capital punishment.
I got one actually.
Okay.
Plastic straws.
We've talked about plastic straws before.
I am so frustrated.
I've seen what the turtles do with it.
Having to drink
a good time.
Cardboard
paper
straws for everything. It's the worst thing in the world. When you're at the movies, you're drinking your drink and halfway through.
That's the worst.
The straw goes soggy and you drink.
You can't even drink it. Especially those Slurpees, they're a joke.
Oh, it's the worst. Look, there was that documentary that proved that plastic straws didn't even make up 0.01%.
Yeah.
What was it called? Seaspiracy.
Very small percentage.
They made the most smallest percentage of the actual waste in the ocean. Yeah.
Has anyone looked into the accuracy and credibility of Seaspiracy? Remember how Joe Rogan did it with
I'm sure
that plant documentary, the vegan documentary, where because for whatever the name of that vegan documentary was, you look at it and go credible, and then Joe Rogan's debunking it. I wonder if it's been looked into, but Seaspiracy was saying.
I reckon 100% someone's already tried to
yeah,
debunk them,
but Seaspiracy was saying very small percentages of plastic straws are actually killing the turtles.
Well, it's just in the ocean in general, adding to the waste. I think that we shouldn't have gotten rid of plastic straws. They're essential. Listen.
Well, just stop drinking straws.
Maybe not essential.
Is inhaling?
But it's other things that make way more waste than plastic straws.
Would cardboard straws be detrimental to our health? Are we inhaling toxins into our body?
Are we?
But definitely drinking paper from those straws. Little bits come up.
You're drinking paper. When once it starts degrading, when it's getting soggy, you start consuming it.
Or is it like that rice paper that's edible though? Can we just consume it?
Yeah,
no harm.
How do we know what's in these cardboard straws?
I don't know.
100% reckon there could be toxins in there, and they'll eventually find out. Oh, sorry, these cardboard straws were bad, so...
they're carcinogenic.
I feel like that argument isn't that great because we eat shit food. Like, you know what I mean? There are so many other things that we don't know that we're putting into our body.
The reason why
So
we're getting rid of the straws was...
I know.
You know, there was no
Maybe the turtles would choke on that paper.
It literally happened from one video of a turtle seemingly having a good time with the straw.
Struggling.
Oh, that's what I meant.
But it was like...
On Twitter, yeah.
One video sparked...
Whoever that was...
No more...
I'm going to have a word.
The things that kill more is more like boats and oil and stuff like that.
Nets, wasn't it?
Okay.
They claimed the fishing nets was not 50%.
Let's move on from the straws and go to plastic bags. Plastic bags at shopping centres.
Bring them back.
You know, like supermarkets, having to pay for them.
10, 15 cents, whatever it is.
And like those plastic bags,
Tell me that's not a scam.
I mean,
it is.
Tell me how much money these companies are making now from one, not only having to not give plastic bags, but they're making money on that product just for them purchasing bulk more stuff.
The charging for it is crazy. I think the charging.
The whole point is they want you to reuse, but
why don't they give
I forget every time.
give out those reusable bags then?
Yeah, why?
Why? $1 or something for those
at first
bags?
it was free, and then they made it.
No, I think that's true. I don't see how them making you pay for it is.
Yeah.
It's not just them exploiting something that now people have to do.
Google it right now because I'm pretty sure there was a big profit from just plastic bags alone. I think I saw something and it was in the millions.
These bags they break down. What are they? Do they break down? What's so good
They're
about
meant to be stronger, reusable, and I think they're biodegradable.
What those big thick ones?
Those like Coles and Woolies ones are like thick as.
Yeah, they're biodegraded 150 years, mate.
They're like the Aldi bags.
Oh, so instead of normal plastic bags,
300 years they're gone. It's fine. It's easy. It's effective. Yeah.
It's a joke.
I'm having a look for it now. It does say
Talk to me.
that the plastic bag ban led to an 80% decrease in plastic bag usage, which maybe it increased profits a lot, but it did achieve the desired goal.
But should they be pocketing those profits, yes or no? Or should they be donating them, for example? If we have to sacrifice, surely they have to sacrifice.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not...
I don't think they should make profit on them. I think that they can break even on it, but I don't think they shouldn't be making profit on plastic bags.
So who buys them then, or who manufactures them?
The
Coles
manufacturer.
or whatever. They buy it off them.
Whoever manufactures.
So then who pays for it?
The company, yeah.
Like they still were.
And say for example, it costs them 5 cents to manufacture it. They sell it for 5 cents, or it's included in some.
But the thing is, then all normal plastic bag places shut down. Like that used to create the other ones.
They did.
Yeah.
The plastic bag industry took a hit.
100%.
Shout out to that.
It's weird.
The straw industry gone.
Yeah.
Like, can we go to some football controversy?
Hold on, just real quick.
Oh, come on, talk
on
to
the
me.
plastic bags. One of the worst parts is, normally you had heaps of plastic bags lying around.
Oh yeah.
Now you got nothing. Over there, I saw poor Andy couldn't find somewhere to put his wet togs.
You know how many?
You don't have somewhere to replace a little bin anymore.
I was looking for lemon. I had lemons yesterday, and I wanted to bag them up, and I couldn't find any bags.
Yeah, you used to have millions lying around. Now none.
We used to have this thing that had all the plastic bags inside of it, and we pull it out and you do it.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
I disagree. I have hundreds of those reusable
Oh, we'll
bags.
share them.
Where do you get them from?
I mean, I'm so
like the olden day
unorganised
ones.
taking them
so
with
you're
me.
the type of person that's not actually contributing to not putting like plastic bags into waste.
No, mine are just in my cupboard, bro.
Every time you
They're
go
in
there,
my-
No, I'm talking about the old ones from Coles and
Yeah,
stuff.
well, old ones. No, but I'm saying I use the new ones as those old ones.
Oh.
Like when I moved houses earlier, like a year
Coles
ago,
bags.
we did it all in the plastic Woolies bags because I had so many of them.
I got bulk crates of work.
Let's go. No, wait. I had so many of those plastic bags, strong, sturdy, reusable. They're actually great for moving house.
Right.
Any non-fragiles.
Talk to me now.
Newcastle.
Football contra, fucking Newcastle United.
Oh,
now the richest club.
Jesus.
Sorry, now the richest club in world football.
How did that change happen?
To the power of 10. Like 10
How?
wasn't great, 10, but 10 times more. Sorry than.
Because this is the last couple of days. What was? Explain the change.
Well, Newcastle have been looking to sell their Mike Ashley. He's been hated by the fans for years. They hate him because he
the owner.
The owner before these guys. They hate him because he put no money into the club. Clearly had no love for it. We're just using him for his brand.
used to be a very
Prestigious.
Very
they were competing for Champions League spots
every time.
But now they've finally sold to.
Well, now after many years of being.
What are they relegated or they're still
performing?
No, they're still the Prem. They're still like a mid-table. They stick around every year. They drop down once but came back up. But now they're by far the richest club in world football.
And by far, tell me a figure, Dylan. Tell me the figures.
They're 10 times the owner of this. Or it's a fund, because I think it's a Saudi Arabian public trust fund or something.
Of course it is.
So they're worth 470 billion
Pounds.
Whereas the owner of Man
like-
City is around
that's like
50 billion.
Double.
The
No,
fund is
The
worth
fund who owns it.
the fund is worth $900 billion Australian.
Oh, right, whatever it translates.
Whatever that.
Yes.
450 million
pounds.
billion.
Pounds.
Billion or million?
Billion.
Money.
So they're
Yeah, that's a lot of money. They could literally buy the EPL over and over again.
But the thing
Easily.
is, even though they got all this money, people are gonna go, "Oh, I want to go to Newcastle."
the next. This is how it's going to break down.
Literally, talk to me now.
This first transfer window coming up, they might dip in. They might spend a little
Do you
bit of
reckon
money
they're
in
gonna go
January. They'll go a little bit heavy, but I don't think they'll be able to draw players in this season. Next season, they're going to start building the foundations. They're going to get some core big players. The season after, they're going fucking ham. They're competing for the title.
Who do you reckon you're going to bring in?
I mean, there's a lot of players
Give me a
coming
big
up to
name,
the end
yeah.
of their contract. Oi, I don't know about the big names.
Yeah, I
think
don't
they
feel like
need-
the big names will move
I
from their
think
clubs.
they need to be in the Champions League before they'll
Do you
get the
reckon-
big names. They're going to get fringe big players and create.
What about an underrated player like Luis Suarez, for example?
I think he's too far over
He's
the
too
hump.
old.
Yeah, but I feel like he's still got that kick.
But this is what happened when Man City did this years ago. It took them a few years to get up there. Immediately they started competing, like top 5, top 6. They started to be competitive, but they didn't have like big players in their club. The big player they brought in was David Silva.
Okay.
David Silva was the first Vincent Kompany. They were the like foundation players who basically stuck through it all through the transition until they retired. So I think if Newcastle,
they were good for City.
yeah, I think if Newcastle similar things, so these really good players with really good potential, they're the ones that are going to come first. In the next few years, they're going to be competing, unless the Premier League brings in some kind of thing to limit how far they can go. But it's crazy because now we're going to see.
I feel like there's a
They
lot.
need a good manager.
So
money.
I've been
Yeah,
doing a
get
little
a
bit of
good
research
manager.
on it, and there has been a bit of controversy behind it as well. Like other teams are not happy about it because they obviously know what's going to happen. They're just going to bring in all the talent, and what's going to
Just makes the Premier League even more competitive.
Yeah.
Because
So,
yeah,
I think every other team is going at EPL and making them, review their decision about allowing that Saudi Arabian company to buy out the club.
they're
But
not
they would have
turning
known.
on it.
Hang on, they would have. How are they unaware to the
Premier League,
fact?
give me
They're
the
not
money.
unaware of it, but I think backlash caused them to maybe rethink about it.
And
For
who are you
example,
referring to here?
For example, like the Super League. They
Yeah.
accepted it at first.
This is
Backlash. They
It is
revisited
different.
it. Now it's no longer.
This
You know
is
what I mean?
different because they've already established a precedent where they allow foreign money to come in and buy clubs. Just because this one's worth a significant amount more
Yeah,
doesn't mean they'll
I'm
get
not-
better players.
I'm
It
not,
just
against,
means-
I'm not against it either because every club is pretty much owned, or most clubs are owned by international companies.
Think about the incentive. They would have had to. The Premier League would have made these guys say, okay, you're going to provide these facilities. There's going to be these things provided to the Premier League. You have to put funding here. You're going to develop grassroots. This is what you need to do for us to let you buy. Sure, we have all this money. It doesn't matter. I don't think anything's going to change.
I'm actually excited to see what they actually do with it.
This is what we're going to see. How much does money matter and how quickly does it turn you from
Does money
Well,
talk?
does
to amazing?
So you said this transfer window won't be that big.
No,
Why
because
are
they're
they going to
gonna
progress?
they'll try and pinch someone.
Why are they going to
Look, it's a-
progressively?
Because it's just how it works. Mid-season, it's less likely you're going to have crazy big signings.
Nah.
But there'll still be some. I'm sure there'll still be something, but less
I
likely.
feel like there's going to be one big signing from Newcastle just so he can prove a point.
Future.
something.
I actually feel like there might be a transfer embargo on a new club, though. Like, you might not be allowed to the next transfer window.
Really?
I can't remember. When I played Football Manager back in the day, when I knew owner would come in.
Career mode on FIFA.
No, there might be some kind of transfer embargo. Maybe I'm wrong with that because Football Manager's changed and they'll
Maybe Luke can give a bit of
Yeah,
a Google
think you
search
can
that.
research.
I'm not
young
like
Joe.
I'm not like Jamie.
Yeah,
I'm not that
But,
proactive.
But no, they're gonna be competitive in a few years.
They need a season like Leicester did that year they won.
They don't even need that. They've got the money to just throw at players. They're gonna get all
As
these
long
fringe
as
players.
long as the fans can see that there's a better performance coming from them, then
But
And look
they're not
at
going to be upset.
the bench players of Chelsea, Man City. That's where they're gonna be looking. These players who aren't getting full minutes, who can come be a superstar at the new richest club in the world.
And you know what? They will do it.
Give me the money.
the
Yeah,
thing is, like, what does money do? Look at my team, Manchester United.
they
They can't even fucking win.
But you're competitive at the top of the table every year.
Yeah.
That's what they want to be.
See,
That's success.
For example, Arsenal. What happened to them? They're owned by a pretty wealthy owner.
They won manager of the month, mate. Mikel Arteta,
Hang on,
manager of the month.
listen.
They had a turnaround.
Last couple of seasons, we have been poor. Extremely. It's like AFC.
It's poor because
But we've been so bad
can't
the last
win, you
couple of
can't get
seasons.
fans,
Last 10
can't
years,
get
we've
players.
been so bad. And over the last 3 years, we haven't been competing for the top 4.
This is the thing. Newcastle, they're not going to be... I'm not saying they're going to start winning every championship. They're going to now be competitive part of that top echelon. Because you can only buy up your way so high.
Results are in.
We've got some input. So the transfer embargo only exists during... A club takeover involving a transfer embargo only exists during a transfer window. So they can't...
That's okay then.
Yes, so they're fine. So transfer window 1, Newcastle will be in action.
What's that player from Dortmund? The blonde
Haaland.
Yeah, that's the type of players they need to get.
I was watching some YouTube videos.
He's a goat
last night. Oh, he's so unreal.
And
even from when he was young.
And even fans don't like. Some fans don't like him. Like I see people throw bottles at him.
So I saw one game. He scored 9 goals in an international game.
Yeah, he's insane.
One person scored 9 goals.
Jesus.
I think it ended like 12-0.
He's got his own song. It's like Harlem, Harlem.
He's ridiculous. His goal scoring record was stupid. Like, in league games, he's like 40 goals in 41 matches, which is unheard of.
Literally.
That's Messi Ronaldo numbers.
Look, I really want... Hang on, before you do that, I really want him to join Arsenal.
For no other reasons but my own selfish desires.
Nice.
Thank you for tuning into the number 5 podcast in the world.
Number
Like,
one.
comment, Number 5.
Podcast.
I thought we were number 5.
Now we're number 1 because
I think this is taking us to the moon.
Well, let's go.
Next level.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.